Okay. So today I want to talk about secret number 2 in the journey. It's called visualization. Visualization and affirmations. Visualization and affirmations are powerful. They help us to win. They help us to move forward to accomplish the goals, the dreams, the vision. In this case, we're writing a book. So the goal is to write. So the secret is to literally, some people call it meditation, some people say it's prayer, but for the purpose of the book and for what we're doing now, because some people are religious and some people are not, I'm just going to call it visualization, where you see the end from the beginning. So, one of the powerful things is that our mind controls our actions. Remember, I told you our thoughts control our emotions and our emotions control what we do. If you can get your mind on board, 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to take action in an area. So, even though, the athlete thinks he can't lift the 100 pounds or whatever, because he sees himself doing it, he's going to keep going until he does it. So the same thing with our book. If I can sit and visualize myself as an author, if I can see it, I am already an author. And then I think backwards, well, if I were an author, what are some things that I would have to do to get there? That thought that you have for and you hold and you visualize for just a few minutes, it draws you closer to it. It literally draws you closer to it. So I talk about how I wanted to write a book for about 3 years, but I had other things going on and I just never did it. But then I was able to sit down and write the book within a couple of days. So what was the difference between the couple of days and the 3 years? Well, when I sat down, it was during COVID and I had nothing else that I was focused on. I was focused on the people that I thought would need to read this book, the people who were sitting in their homes that didn't have family or didn't have friends with them, that had gone through something difficult and would really like to read a positive book about my journey and that how my journey would help them to be able to move forward. So I said, oh my gosh, I have to do it for them. And I visualized it as if they were sitting there reading my book and being helped and being healed and touched, moved, and inspired. So it drew me to begin sitting down and getting serious about writing it because I knew they needed me. And so sometimes we'll do things for other people that we won't do for ourselves. If we can sit and we can visualize what it is that needs to happen, and we see it as if it's already done, then you ask yourself, well, how did I do it? What made me do it? What made me accomplish this? How did I get there? It's so simple as whatever it is that we do, we've already seen it in our mind before we do it. Does that make sense to you? Like you say, you're sitting on the couch and you think to yourself, I'm hungry. You actually visualize yourself getting up and going to the refrigerator, and then you get up and you go to the refrigerator. So you think it first before it manifests. As a man thinketh, so is he. It's actually like that with everything that we do. And the only reason we haven't accomplished the things that we didn't accomplish is because we didn't visualize it. We didn't see ourselves doing it. We saw ourselves staying and seated on the couch watching the TV, so we didn't get up. But if we visualized it, we're going to do it eventually. Sometimes people think of things that they don't want to do, and we're focused on what we don't want. Like, I really don't want to go to this place. I don't want to go to this place. I want to make sure that I don't go to this bar, or I want to make sure I don't go to this club, or I want to make sure I don't eat this candy bar. What you focus on grows. So actually, because we're focused on eating the candy bar, not eating the candy bar is actually why we eat the candy bar, because we're focused on it. So with visualization, you're giving yourself an opportunity to just sit and focus. And we do it anyway. That's why we remember the bad things from our past. And they keep happening over and over and over again, because we're literally sitting and meditating on it. We're literally sitting and visualizing it. Even though it happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, we're literally sitting and visualizing it when we think on it. So my assignment for you, instead of thinking on the negative thing that we don't want to happen, let's sit and visualize the thing that we truly do want to happen. Let's see ourselves as authors. Let's see ourselves sitting down at the book signing, writing and signing your name, and talking to the people who are coming up and saying, wow, your book has touched me. Your book has inspired me. Your book has really helped me to heal. Wow, I'm so appreciative and so grateful that you took the time to write this book because it's changed my life. Feel the emotions of that day. What are you wearing? What are the colors? What's the sky like? Is it a sunny day? Is it a cold day? Who's with you? Who's around you when you get those accolades that day? When you're sitting and receiving your love and appreciation for the book that you've written. Visualize it. See it. See it like it's already done and feel the emotion of it. And it will literally begin to draw you to that. Take a minute, close your eyes, and see yourself as an author. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and visualize yourself as an author and pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back and feel the emotion and the joy of being an author. Who's with you? Who do you see? Close your eyes. Who do you see in your mind's eye? Who's with you? Who's talking to you? What are they saying? What are you wearing that day? Is there a lot of laughter? Are people laughing? Is there a lot of joy in the atmosphere? Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Or are they crying? Is there a lot of emotion? And people are touched and they're crying because they're making connection between their experience and your experience. You decide. The victory, the victory, the victory. So I want every day for you to take a few minutes. And in the back of the book, on the section called visualization, there's how to visualize so that you can get clear. And what we just did was the process of getting clear about the day, the action item to be specific. Then I tell you a story, which you can go through for yourself. And the most important thing is believe that it's already done. If you truly believe it, you're going to act it out. That's the hardest thing, to believe it. But the more you begin to visualize it, the more you'll begin to believe it. So I believe for you, but the more you believe, the easier it's going to be to write because it's already done. And then it says, ask boldly for what you want. One of the things that we're doing in this process is every week we're talking about our wins, but also we need to talk about what we need help with. You know, ask for what you want in the process. What do you need? What do you think you need in order to be able to sit down and write and be free to write? Think about it. What do I need? It's okay. We're in a group. You're allowed to say what you need. And if we can support you by giving you what you need, then we'll support you. And another step is that it takes time. It's okay if we start this week and we didn't do this week. It's okay because it's going to get easier and easier. Once the habit is developed, that's the most important thing. It's not even that the 15 minutes versus 20 minutes. It's more important that you actually sit down and write, even if it's a sentence. There's just the process of sitting down and writing. Even if you sit down, you write a sentence and then you get up, but you do that regularly. You're getting in the habit of cultivating that process. And be specific, which we did. When we set our goals, we were specific. It's called a SMART goal. So it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, and it has a time frame. It's a reasonable goal. So all of those things come into play. And then at the end, I tell a story with the visualization. And it says Oprah Winfrey got pregnant at 14 and was fired from her, that she was unfit for television. Yet she went on to be wildly successful as a talk show host and business owner. She experienced a major roadblock, hurt and pain, but kept going. When asked why her show was so successful, she attributed it to setting her intention for her show. So I'm saying when she said set her intention, that's the same thing as our visualizing. We're seeing it. My interpretation is that she visualized what she wanted the outcome of the show to be. Then she kept that in mind as she planned and conducted her interviews. So she worked backwards, the same way that I'm recommending that we work backwards. The processes are the same. The goals may be different, but the processes are the same. So she set her intention every show. We're setting our intention. So summary, visualization doesn't have to take long. Think of what you want and picture yourself already having it. That's the key. There's already done. You already have it when you're seeing it. Not thinking, oh, well, what if I don't do it? Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, you're not actually doing it. You're just picturing it in your mind's eye as if it's done. So you don't have to worry about the work. You don't have to worry about the process. You don't have to feel anxious about it. It's just done. How would you feel once it's done? Be specific, so specific that you'll know that you've received it from this activity. 3, make a vision board. Photographs of the thing that you want on your board. So in the case of your situation, Vaughn, you already have a website. You already have the cover of the book. You already have things that you can look at to visualize and see the process as if it's already done. Becca, we need to get something that you can look at and see it. So we say you could cut out pictures and stick them up. You have your phone. You could go in your phone and find pictures of things that you think you'd want to have on your book or in your book. Or maybe a photograph of yourself that you'd want to put on the cover of your book, something that you can see in the natural that pulls you to that thing. Maintain the best possible emotional state. Oh yeah, this is important. Smile and make sure that you are feeling the positive emotions that you'll experience once the goal has been achieved. So when you think of the thing, think happy thoughts. Don't think of it as, oh, I got to do this now. This is a burden. I don't know if I can be bothered with this. This woman want me to do this thing. I'm not sure. I mean, you'll talk yourself out of it. But when you think of it as something positive, something that is illuminating because it's already done. So when I was thinking of those people, it made me get excited because I was like, wow, these people really need this. I can't wait to really help them because it's an urgent situation. It was COVID. So you create in your mind whatever it is that you need to create that makes you feel like, yeah, I can do this. And then you can share it with us. You don't have to share it online, but you can share it privately in the group. But the idea is that you're going to share it. Think of it, whatever that something is, that key that causes it to turn for you. Like I said, with Alexander Graham Bell, he did the light bulb 1,000 times before he was able to do it, before there was actually a light bulb. So he was in his process, and we didn't know. We didn't celebrate him for the process. We just celebrated him for the end result. Like I said, it took me 3 years before I actually wrote the book in a week, right? But nobody celebrates me for the 3 years, but they celebrate the fact that I have the book. So the bottom line is, whatever it is that's your key, find it, share it, write it down, and then continue to do it, whatever that is. And that's why step number 1 was really being clear on why we're writing the book. Because if you're writing for your daughter, Becca, who is like a teenager, you're going to write it differently than if you're writing the book for me, right? Based on my age, based on my maturity. So that's one of the reasons why we started with that step. And then number 5 is whatever it is, you're going to say it out loud. Or pray it out loud, repeat it out loud, do affirmations 2 times a day. So you're an author. I am an author. I am a successful author. And whatever that thing is, that's the turnkey, write it down, say it out loud. You're going to share it with us and then move on. It's done. Don't worry about it anymore. Just do what you can. Right? Don't worry about it. It's done. Just do what you can. So we all have days this week. Vaughn is going to do 5 days. You're going to do 3 days this week. And as far as writing, we all have different goals as far as how much we're going to write, but we've all committed to writing incrementally this week. So by the time we come back next week, we have to be further along in the journey than we were before. And that's the secret. The micro wins lead to the macro wins. That's all. It's not hard. It's not stressful because we're doing it in micro pieces and we have the support of each other. Right. So the idea is you're going to come back and I'm going to support you and celebrate your win, just like I've celebrated your win for last week. So I'm excited to be in the journey with you. I'm excited to be your cheerleader. You can do this. You are awesome. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Yes, yes, yes. We can do this. We can accomplish great things. And we're going to look back on this time and say, wow, look at all that we have done. Okay, questions, comments, statements about process or anything.
More like a statement. So when it's so funny when you talk about how visualizing yourself as an author, I was sharing with one of the gentlemen that we met here, Mr. Nate. You've met Nate, and I was telling him, that I was in the process of writing a book. So he said, "Oh, so you're an author waiting to be published?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I was like, "You could say that." He said, "No, I can't say that." And he was like, "No, you are, because the moment you put something on paper made you an author. You're just waiting to be published." And I was like, that is something to consider. And so I thought that was great because it's the truth. If you're writing something down and you're consistently writing, you are an author until you're just waiting to be published, right? Is that cool? Like, you get what I'm saying? Anywho, so yeah, I just thought to share that.
Woohoo! Absolutely. Absolutely. That's consistent with visualization. Once you decide that you're an author and you're moving toward manifesting it. You're moving toward making it so. There's a proverb that says, speak those things as though they were, right? So first you got to speak it. And that's why part of the process of visualization, we just went through the steps, is actually speaking it and telling people and selling books. The pre-sales for the books draw you to the fact that you better have a book because people are believing you. People are buying into you and who you are, and not the who you are today, but the who you're going to be because they want to buy that book. Right? And then, two, this is just the first of many books because once you become an author, that means you write. That means you write books, right? How exciting! How exciting for your kids, to have a mom that writes. How exciting for your family to be like, wow, I know somebody who's put together a book. It's awesome. I'm so proud of you for sharing that you actually told somebody that you're writing. And I know that sometimes when we haven't done it yet, we're kind of apprehensive to tell people because we're scared because it's like, well, what if we don't really do it? But that's the secret. Once you've already put it out there, there's the secular world and then there's the spiritual world, right? So in the spiritual world, we say, oh, speak those things as though they were. And we say, oh, we once you say it and you believe it, then God brings it to pass. But whether you're a spiritual person or not, the fact still remains that whatever you focus on is what's going to grow. Whatever you believe is what you're going to manifest. So you can choose to believe I can't, or you can choose to believe I can. The choice is yours. So why not choose to believe I'm an author? Right? Why not? If that's something that you want, and put it out there. I'm an author, and begin sharing it and begin telling people and begin affirming that you are. So it's awesome. You told the man you're an author, but you haven't published your book yet. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense to him. It makes sense. The only person it doesn't make sense to sometimes is us because we're in our heads. Well, I didn't do the book yet. Well, I only have a few pages. Well, I'm not really sure. As opposed to set your intention, visualize it, it's already done, and now you're working towards it. You're bringing it to you. One sentence at a time, one word at a time. So for this week, I just want us to really be clear again, like I said, about who the book is being written for. Make progress to write something, a sentence, a paragraph. I don't care, something. And it doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just write. We'll worry about the periods and the commas and the editing later. Put pen to paper and get started. And you can be anywhere. As a matter of fact, if you don't feel comfortable putting pen to paper, I shared with you that you can speak it. You can speak the book. Like you're more of a talker, just talk. Hold the recorder. Everybody here, everybody listening has a phone. Take the phone, press record, and speak. Speak the story. Then we can take the audio and make it text. And so it's written. And before you know it, you've written a paragraph, you've written pages, and you have never, ever put pen to paper. The idea is to get it from you out into the world, because we all have something to share. We all have a story. And I've heard both of your stories. And I've heard Dennis's story. He's online with us too. So I know that it's just a matter of getting it out there into the world. Some of you already have websites. Some of you have already sold. So it's just a matter of making progress incrementally. All right. So we got just a minute or so. Anybody want to say anything or share? Somebody said knowledge is power. Embody it. They're encouraging you guys. Encouraging you.
Well, where's
All right,
Dennis?
anything else you want to share?
Can we see Dennis?
Nope, he's online. You can see his writing though if you look in the comments. Can you see the comments?
Oh, in the chat? No. Let me see. Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Bye-bye, guys. Have a
Okay.
great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.